He's on. 48 metres out. It's not there. It's touched off the boot. No mark. Off hands. Goal. Brisbane have kicked the goal. Danaher's got it.
Hello and welcome to Little Birdie Sports Show for a Monday First Look. I'm your host, Nikki Sylvester. Joining me today is MG for all things AFL Finals Week 1, and we've also got Toprope to end out the NRL home and away season. First Look is proudly brought to you by Little Birdie TV, topsport.com.au, Punting Form and Manscaped for the very best in men's grooming. MG, how was your weekend? Nothing better than footy finals for you?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yep.
Yes, had a very good weekend, enjoyed it. Probably, I don't know, living memory, it was one of the better first weeks of the finals we've seen. So,
no doubt.
All unbelievable games for different reasons, and we'll unpack it in a little bit. But yeah, it's.
I think we've texted each other and I said to you the same thing. It has been a long time since I can remember a final series that good for the week 1, which the AFL will be absolutely pumped with, which was great. It was great. And then we went straight into some amazing NRL games. Toprope, talk me through how you found the last week of the NRL.
Yeah, it was great. Good to know that the AFL finals have started. Hadn't heard much about it up here, but good to see that kicked off. But it was a cracking week. The big story last week was the reopening of Allianz Stadium, full house, Roosters and Bunnies. What a way to kick it off! Pretty fierce encounter there. We had the top 4 playoff essentially on Thursday night. The Eels against the undermanned Storm. Saw a couple of field goals to win some games, and the regular season finished off with perhaps Leichhardt Oval's final game. The Tigers embarrassed themselves one last time. So, good final week, but we're ready for the real deal now. And we've got some absolute belters in terms of the matchups. The footy gods have certainly smiled upon the NRL this week with some absolutely cracking first-round matchups.
Oh, I totally agree with you. Can I also ask, I'll tell you what was cracking, the first hole-in-one for the Lib series with Matthew Wolff. I was watching that in the crowd roar and I thought, Toprope would be loving this right now.
Oh, it is absolutely wild, this Lib stuff. Just watching it is insane. And Matthew Wolff was exactly the kind of guy you'd want to be hitting the first ace. He went ballistic. There were chest bumps. He lost the plot, and then to cap it off, all of a sudden they had to wear shorts playing. So the calves are on show. Big finish to it today. I'll tell you what, the PGA Tour have kind of made it their strategy to kind of say, well, this is Mickey Mouse, doesn't mean anything. It seemed to mean a hell of a lot when there was a 3-man playoff and Dustin Johnson, a multiple major winner, is bidding from 40 feet. Like, they could not have got a better finish. Vince McMahon couldn't have scripted one if it was the WWE. So, hell of an event to Live Boston, the 4th on their calendar.
Yeah, it was good. How did Cam Smith go first up? He looked like he missed a few fairways along the way. Some of the highlights I saw, he had some interesting recovery shots going on, but he just missed out by one shot going into the playoffs.
Yeah, Cam Smith always misses a few fairways, which is probably the biggest flaw in his game, but some of his recovery work was outstanding. Was one off the lead, I think, after the first round and looked primed to pounce. Had a shocker relative to the field in the second round. Absolutely flew home today. Missed by a shot, but good final round. Good first out in the Live. And you'd think the current world number 2 will have a few wins to his name over the last 4 events for Live for 2022.
Nikki, Grand Prix.
Yep.
Back-to-back weeks we had in the Grand Prix, and Verstappen in his home country's done it again.
Yep,
4 in a row.
Yeah, that's it, 4 in a row. So Max won, and then look, I thought it was a really, really, really good race. Obviously, Lewis Hamilton at one point looked like he could have won, and obviously you heard some explicits over the radio when he didn't win. But it was a really good race. He has just, obviously, that's it. He's now the drivers' champs, Verstappen's. And look, good finish for George Russell as well. Like, I keep ramming this home, but he's going to have such a good series next year. So, what do we got? The Italian Grand Prix next week, so stay tuned, the Italians.
3 in a row, rolling them out. Your home country, the Italian Grand Prix. So not flying over there for it, are you? Not making the trip?
What are you talking about? We're all going to go to the races on Saturday. What better time to be in Australia than footy finals for both codes, please?
That's true. You're hosting the great man Toprope, flying down in his jet to come and visit you for a couple of days. Jeez, strapping everybody. Next Monday's show might be interesting.
And then the Monday after could be more interesting as well. But look, we've got a couple of insane weeks. And what else we got kicking off on Friday is the NFL. We've got that kicking off. So that is amazing. First game at Sophie Stadium. Buffalo's taking on the LA Rams. 10:20 a.m. on Friday. Toprope. you're going to have some good packages for us with Jerry?
Yeah, we've got the new show, new host coming on. We'll have the weekly NFL package. We'll do our best to find a few winners there. I haven't spent a lot of time looking at the opening game yet, but it'll be an absolute cracker. But I've got the Bills as my clear top rater in the NFL. I've got them with the best record. I've got them actually in 14 games this year, going 14-3. So those are for a pre-season bet. I'm looking to push them. I know they're probably very much a public pick, but yeah, they're kind of really, really well in my ratings. For a team that went so well last year, they kind of had a lot of metrics that suggest they should have gone better. So, yeah, certainly count them. And the defending champs, the Rams, they're another team that I think look pretty well poised, and 240 to win that division. I think they're probably better than my 49ers this year again. So, probably a little bit of value there. MG, what do you like, and what do you think about these two teams? Maybe not for necessarily this week, but from a season-long perspective.
Yeah, I think it's. I was on Buffalo. I've gone a year early, Toprope, as you know. I was very keen on them last year, and yeah, it just didn't get the job done. So that was a bit disappointing. But yeah, this year they've. I think the only doubt with the Bills is they're obviously priced in, as Toprope alluded to. They're probably the popular pick with the public. So I don't think there are any great shakes in terms of the Super Bowl price. The thing that just does concern me a bit, they've got a pretty tough draw, I'd say. They're playing the better sides around them in the first 8 weeks. So I just mentioned Toprope's obviously got them going well at 14 wins. But yeah, I just a little concerned there. But other than that, it's a typical Super Bowl lineup. It's wide open behind it. And it's going to be an awesome season because there's some stacked teams in the comp, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's a real top-heavy, bottom-heavy lineup this year. And, it's kind of looking a little like the NBA in terms of how it's kind of stacking up in terms of probably not that many teams that win it. Yeah, NFL always shows some surprises. It's not as, we're not the Premier League or anything like that, but the strong getting stronger, and I'm not really seeing a lot of, really weak teams kind of jumping up out of the pack. I think, going through, I think the culture of the team that will improve. I think Baltimore can overcome some injuries. What about you? If you would give me one team who was kind of just inside the playoff or just outside last year, jump up, and one who was kind of a bottom feeder last year to kind of make that leap forward, who have you got?
Well, probably an improver for mine is maybe Miami. Just the quarterback's always going to be concerned, but geez, they've got some arsenal built around him, so haven't really gone into their drawers yet. But yeah, I thought the way obviously Baltimore started their preseason again, I think they're going to be probably a team towards the top end that might push hard to the better teams like KC and Buffalo.
I like that.
All right, there's a little bit of NFL banter for the boys, so make sure you stay tuned for Third and Long.
It's all I've got this year because Toprope's kicked me off the show. So
making way for the new big boys.
Yeah, the new breed. Yeah, it'd be a good lineup. Look forward to it. It starts this week, the show, so make sure everybody tunes in because last year we had a lot of fun. We tipped our fair share of winners as well. So Jerry and Toprope will be back with their packages, and if you want to improve your bank balance and watch the NFL, there's not many better sports around, in my opinion.
No, of course not. But I tell you what, one sport is up your alley. It's the US Open with the tennis. So we're halfway through. Talk me through it.
Yes, we've got, actually a big match going on right now, especially for OB and myself. We've got Medvedev, who's the clear favourite in the men's, playing Kyrgios, and they're in a massive first set tiebreak at the moment. So I think it's about 12-11 or something right now. So that'll be a big outcome. I need Kyrgios beat because I don't want OB jumping around Thursday or Friday show as well. So yeah, not too much has happened. Nikki, your boy Berrettini obviously got through. So at the top end, there's been no real shocks in the men's, and pretty much in the females haven't lost too much either. So Medvedev's around the 285 mark still to win it, and Swiatek's the dominant favourite to start with. She's around the 285 price as well. So yeah, going to the second week now, it's going to be some good matches going forward. So follow the US Open.
Yeah, it sounds like there's going to be some amazing finals on display there. So all odds at topsport.com.au. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with AFL. Welcome back to First Look. We're going to go through the AFL Round 1 first week for the finals. MG, what a week it was. Okay, here we go. Brisbane, they beat Richmond 106-104. Sydney beat Melbourne 91-69. Geelong beat Collingwood 78-72. And Fremantle, they beat the Bulldogs 73-60.
Yeah, unbelievable week as we stated at the top of the show for the finals. What a way to start off. We had some. We thought there were very good matchups going in.
Yeah.
On the Thursday show that we kind of flip flop on the Richmond Brisbane one, but really like the over total there. So we'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, that was a very free flowing game. I think there was 17 lead changes in that game. So for excitement in front of a packed Gabba crowd, what a finish, and for the home team to get up and continue on, that was an awesome game to watch, and also from a betting point of view, pretty successful as well. Yeah. The Friday night game was my pick of the week in terms of viewing. We thought Melbourne were a little suspect, and I was really keen on the Swans and at the plus, and they won outright there, as you can see, by 22 points. Yeah, really enjoyed that game, and that was probably I think it was probably the match of the season so far. Just the constant pressure for all four quarters, and the second half was as good a game as you'd want to see in terms of pressure. And Melbourne at home at the MCG just couldn't stand up for the physicality and the constant pressure by the Swans. They got the job done, and now the ticket looks pretty good. If you'd followed us, I don't know, we've probably 6 or 8 weeks now. We've been pretty strong on the Swans and thought they were the value pick, and now even though Geelong did beat Collingwood, I just think Sydney now should be the favourites. I understand why they're not, just because of the way the bookies set up with the amount of multis and stuff they would have had through Melbourne and Geelong. But just from a pure betting point, Sydney at home get the weaker side now with the winner out of Collingwood and Fremantle going up there. Sydney have only got to come home now. If they get through that, they've just got to come to the MCG, and clearly stated last week that they now won 8 out of 9 at the MCG, so they hold zero fears coming in. Yep. And if they come up against maybe either a Geelong or a Melbourne, they'll back themselves right in, I think, in the grand final. So really keen on Sydney. We'll follow those all the way through. The Saturday afternoon game, again, 91,000 people there. Geelong, Collingwood, unbelievable. Again, Collingwood just keep finding themselves in close games. I know they got on the wrong end of this one. They were well back, Collingwood. Actually, they weren't well back in that game. The line all went Geelong's way. And we went out at the start of the week plus 17.5. Couldn't believe the betting. Actually closed 20 and 21. So had to double dip there later on in the game. So that was never in doubt. So pretty positive betting experience there, and to watch it. And Collingwood were a little stiff, but Geelong just knuckled down and got the job done. So big win for them. They get the week off, and now Collingwood have got to play host Fremantle at the G. And the fourth game, we kind of earmarked that as probably being the lesser of the four finals. It kind of worked out that way. Weather didn't help a bit. It was a bit wet over there. It was a crazy game. The Bulldogs kicked the first 6 goals of the game and missed some absolute shockers on top of that as well. And really, they should have been 8, 9, maybe even 10 goals in front, especially when you watch a replay and you just wonder how they lost that game.
Oh, it's insane.
The last 3 quarters, they were borderline disgraceful, really, for a season on the line. They'll be shattered with that Bulldogs. It's going to be a long off season for them going forward for next year. So, when you come back for 2023, that might scar them, that loss, for a while. Actually, when teams are normally in those positions to continue on, and basically just threw it away. On Fremantle's side, the home crowd got behind them. Bulldogs let them back in the game, and then they just steamrolled them in the second half. So, I don't. Going into, we'll discuss it obviously going forward, but I think Collingwood should advance against Freo. I don't think they're up to it in terms of going forward. So that was an interesting game. But again, packed house over in Perth. Looked sensational as well. That stadium looks unbelievable. Hopefully one day we'll get over there for a game. But 4 games. It was a sensational week for the AFL, and they'll be very excited going forward with 5 games left. They can only dream that they can replicate those going forward.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's just have a quick look at the bookie wrap. So we have 2 of 4 faves, 1 of 4 covers, 2 of 4 over totals, and 3 and 4 for the home team. So for the season, that takes it to 71% of faves, 51% of covers, 55% of over totals, and 60% of home teams.
It is a good week for bookies again, and also for the outsiders, if you'd follow those through. So we're pretty strong on the overall for the week on the outsiders, and the only one that actually skewed those figures was the Bulldogs were well back from 13 when we tipped them at plus 13.5. Freo won by 13, so really key if you got on early there, because they closed Fremantle -9, -10, which gives it the 1 cover. So, early shopping got the chocolates.
Early shopping got the chocolates as always, MG. You're always all over it on a Monday. Okay, now let's have a quick look at the stings for the finals week 1. Finals week 1, 4 of 5. I'm telling you, you were on fire. You had 11 units bet, and that resulted in plus 4.28 units. And for the season, you had 264 units bet. You're at 32 plus 32 units, and that is a return of 12.24%. MG.
Yeah, pretty good week there, Nikki. Unfortunately, just missed out on the last total. You were up and about thinking we could chance to get the 5-0. As just quickly going through them, the Brisbane one was never in doubt. A bit of top rope like this game with a bit of Ric Flair going over the 200 as well. So 210 points. It was never in doubt. One of the better games for kicking displays you will see. Both teams were unbelievable at night, and it didn't represent a true final there with 210 points. Sydney got the job done against Melbourne, never in doubt there at the plus. Collingwood was game that was close all game. We got that easily. The Bulldogs, as we said, if you shopped early and listened to the show on the Monday, you get the 13.5 and get the chocolates. Unfortunately, if you bet late in that, you would have lost that one. And the total, I bet late in this game because the weather cleared. We got our chips in at the right price. The total closed 154, 155. So we got a goal of the best of it. Unfortunately, the Bulldogs didn't contribute to the scoreboard in the last three quarters, as you said, and missed out on that one. Unfortunately, you can't win them all, but 4 out of 5 is not a bad week. And now I've only got 5 games left over 3 weeks, so we're going to have to go be shooting straight to get a result over the next 3 weeks.
Oh, mate, you are the GOAT, I'm telling you. Okay, let's have a quick look at the semi-finals for the week 2 of the AFL. All right, so we've got Melbourne taking on Brisbane Friday night at the MCG, 7:50 p.m. Melbourne, $1.37, Brisbane, $3.15, and the line is 18.5 at the moment.
Yeah, good matchup. Obviously, be a big crowd. Brisbane do have a lot of Victorian supporters down here, and they will travel. So, with the weather, hopefully will clear for this game. It's a bit iffy on the Friday at this stage, but yeah, I expect a crowd of north of maybe 75, 80,000. I think the AFL will be up early without going too much depth. And obviously, there are some injury concerns, especially on the Melbourne front, with Petrarca and Spargo's copped the knock as well. So. Petrarca is going to be an interesting one because he's one of the key 3 or 4 players for Melbourne. And what I did notice from the game on Sydney is their best players are carrying the Melbourne side. And if Petrarca is not at a percentage high enough or doesn't play, Brisbane will be a good bet for me here. I know they can't play at the MCG. And I also know, which we'll discuss, that Melbourne absolutely smashed Brisbane in the 2 times this year. But I just think if they lose one of their pillars in their side, the money will come for Brisbane. On the Saturday night, the Collingwood Fremantle game, we'll discussing more. Yeah, I just think Collingwood at -11, -12 are just going to be a good bet at the MCG. Again, they lose one of their keys. Taylor Adams is out for the year with a groin injury, which he's redone. I just don't think Fremantle are up to it at the MCG. Big crowd, they'll hold no fears. Collingwood, and they'll get the job done, I think.
Yeah, I think Collingwood at the $1.50 is a pretty good price. We were talking about it yesterday when they went up, and we thought, maybe there should have been $1.30 given for Freo. So, I'm sure we'll go through that on Thursday with OB. But, interesting to see how those lines move over the week. All right, let's have a quick look at the Premiership market update. All right, Geelong, $2.50, Swans, $3.30, Melbourne, $4.60, Collingwood, $9, Freo, $15, and the Brisbane Lions, $21.
I think we got our chips in at the right price.
$12 you tipped them at. Look at that.
Geelong short enough with they're going to get the tougher final now with Melbourne and Brisbane going through on their side. So I don't think they're any great shakes, but I understand why they're still $2.50 and the bookies are locked in with them. Brisbane, a bit late in the game to be tipping them now. We've kind of been tipping them for a while now from $11 in, and even last week they were $7, so can't really tip them. Melbourne are starting to get out. I think they'll just drift. Yeah, I think if I'm going to pick one, probably just going to go, I think Brisbane, maybe the value at $21. I know it's going to be hard to come to Melbourne 3 times in a row, and I wouldn't be shying away from Collingwood, and I wouldn't be touching Freo.
Okay, thanks, MG. All right, let's have a quick look at the Brownlow, because your Brownlow package went out over the weekend. So here we go. Lockie Neal, $3.30, Clayton Oliver, $3.70, Patrick Cripps, $5.50, Brayshaw, $7. We've got Petrarca at $8 and Tuke Miller at $8.
Yeah, still a 6 chances. Nothing much has obviously really changed. I just think, I think Neil and Oliver will shape up equal favourites coming to the thing. I still think Oliver is the man at this stage.
Thanks, MG. Okay, now, punters, he's got a great Brownlow package. He's $99. You can get that in the Little Birdie Live TV shop. Sign up, $99, Brownlow week on the 19th of September. Also, he has had an incredible first round for the AFL finals, 4 out of 5. My God, you are on fire. AFL Stings, you can get that from only $22 a week in the Little Birdie TV shop. AFL Stings, $22 a week. Sign up for both. He's on fire. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with Toprope. Welcome back to First Look, proudly brought to you by topsport.com.au. Family owned and operated for over 35 years. Bet with a bookie you can trust. Bet with TopSport. All right, let's have a quick look at the last round for the home and away season in the NRL. Parramatta, they beat the Melbourne Storm 22-14. The Bulldogs beat Manly 21-20. The Roosters, they beat South 26-16. Gold Coast beat the Warriors 27-26. St George beat Brisbane 22-12. North Queensland beat Penrith 38-8. Cronulla beat the Newcastle Knights 38-16. And Canberra yesterday, they beat the West Tigers 56-10. Toprope.
Yeah, wild weekend. So to finish off, we saw the Eels kind of solidify their premiership credentials with when they were off the map once Jerome Hughes was ruled out for the Storm. They started outside, ended up finishing 3.5 point favourites. So heavily back there, and the Punters got the cash there. It led, I think, 22-0 at one stage or close to, and won 22-14. Chance late for the Storm, but Cameron Munster had a forgettable night, missed the conversion next to the post. So good for him. Thought he was playing AFL. He missed such an easy shot. But very ordinary there. We saw a few meaningless games, and that was kicked off by the Bulldogs beating the Homophobes 21-20. Overcame a 16-0 deficit. Good finish to the season for the Bulldogs. But they were certainly a team on the up over the second half of the year. Manly very much a team in the opposite direction. So a good result. Manly have already indicated that mass changes are coming to that club. So we'll see what's happening to the roster.
A coach sacking?
It looks like a coach force. Yeah, the new CEO with the backing the owner has indicated that all the assistant coaches who Des has hired and prided himself on taking from club to club will be sacked, and Des will be given the option to either stay on with club-appointed assistants or walk 12 months early. And I think they definitely want him to walk. So we'll see. Des very tight with the dollar, so I'm not sure he's going to walk if that's full payout, but we'll soon see. Also talk Daly Cherries might be showing the door as well. So plenty of divides in that club. So look, couldn't happen to a nicer club. Very pleased to see it. Roosters and Buddies, we've got a taste, a little entree for what we get this weekend at the opening of Allianz Stadium. Absolutely monstrous. Packed house, Roosters 26-16, fierce game. The way they attacked Latrell was something to behold. You don't often see that, but there are a few big names missing on both sides. We're going to see different teams both sides, but what we won't see is Joe Manu, key Rooster centre. Hurt his calf late in the game, and he will miss, looks like, the rest of the season. So he's a huge loss for the Roosters. Warriors extended their record as the team with the most blown second half double-digit leads. The Warriors led 26-6, got rolled 27-26. So a great way to end another fine season for the Warriors there, and some real strife going forward. Broncos, slim hopes of making the finals, needed to beat St George, Illawarra, and hope for the Raiders to lose. They could not do the first thing. The big news out of that was Kevin Walters was widely mocked leading into the game. Tyson Gamble, the recalled 5'8", had mentioned in a podcast that Walters isn't even really the coach of the team. Adam Reynolds is who they'll go to. So really undercut the coach there. Well played by him. Cowboys thrashed an under-strength Penrith side, 38-8. I'm going to say under-strength. They were missing their 13 best players. Played pretty courageously to the Panthers, including the last play of the game with the total on the line, total 48.5, score 46. Scott Drinkwater, one of the fastest players in the NRL, picked up the ball with a minute to play, and no one in front of him, and got run down by the reserve prop, Eddie Blacker. So, certainly not casting anything on Scott Drinkwater, but if that was to win a bet, it was going to cost him a lifetime of mockery, that's for sure. The Knights are absolutely hopeless against the Sharks. Who, I can't recall seeing a team who's looked worse than a 22-point win, but the Sharks look very ordinary. Rolling the Knights, they've got the job done, got the cover and the over on the last play of the game. So God bless that. And the Raiders led 42-0 at halftime against the Tigers, were one try away from the biggest ever halftime lead. But sharp shot in the second half, took a lot of their key players off, crawled to the line 56-10.
Thanks, Toprope. Okay, let's have a quick look at the bookie wrap. So we've finished 6 of 8 faves, 5 of 8 covers, 2 of 8 over totals, and 5 of 8 home teams. And for this season, 71% of faves, 52% of covers, 52% over totals, and 59% for the home teams.
Yeah, it's was a week for the unders punters. Actually, it was the first 6 games of the week went under the total. A couple of overs yesterday, but certainly small swing. Some of the games, like the Panthers game, you throw the Eels Storm game, you forecast a little bit, but we saw like games like the Bulldogs Seagulls game just shut in the second half. We saw a fair amount of rain there and whatnot. So that was the big takeaway from that. But regular season done and dusted. We hit finals time now.
Okay, let's have a quick look at the GGOA. So 2 of 5. We had 11 units bet, and that did result in minus 3.9 units. But for the season, 336.5 units bet. That is a result of plus 40.16 units, and that is a return of 11.93%. You both are on fire.
Yeah, happy with the season. No doubt that MG is probably in the hotter hand than I am at the moment. But yeah, look, a couple of totals there. The rain played a pretty big part in particular the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs Seagulls over. It looked like it was going to go over for all money and still got to 41 points despite some, as they said in the commentary, monsoon conditions. To be honest, I deserve what I got back in the Warriors, laying points there, minus 5.5. That was cruising to the line. They're up by 14 with 6 minutes to play. But anyway, gets done. And the over in the Saints Broncos game never looked likely. The Dragons, though, that was not a sweat. They almost jumped close to faves there, the Dragons. That's the 4.5 was nice there, and like I mentioned earlier, 52.5 in the Knights Sharks game hit on the last try of the game. So a little something for the punters there on Sunday.
Okay, let's have a quick look at the first week of the finals. Oh God, I can't wait. These are going to be some insane games. We'll just quickly go through them because I'm sure you're going to pack them down on Thursday with OB. But very quickly, Friday night we've got Penrith taking on Parramatta. What an absolute showdown these will be. So that's Friday night at 7:50 p.m. Penrith $1.40, Parramatta $3. And the line is about 7.5, no over under total at the moment. What a grudge match.
Yeah, Toprope. 2 Western Sydney rivals absolutely hate each other. Eels have beaten the Panthers twice this year. Got a great record against them in recent years, the Eels. So Nathan Cleary is back for the Panthers, as are all the other starters who were rested last week. Got to be a monster game. First of all, this line is too big. This is a matchup that traditionally has very few points in it. So we'll certainly be looking at the under if this is anything north of 36.5, which I anticipate it will be. And yeah, we're jumping on the plus.
I'm not sure how this one's going to pan out. I think the Storm might be all right here. So the Storm are taking on Canberra on Saturday at 5:40. Melbourne Storm $1.40. The Canberra rate is $2.95, and the line's 8.5 at the moment. I'm not sure how to play this game, Toprope.
Yeah, haven't delved deep enough into it to get too excited on this one just yet. The Raiders have got a pretty good record against the Storm and Melbourne in recent years. Got to be very much dependent on Jerome Hughes' health. That if Jerome Hughes is out, this line is way too big. But I expect he'll play. Probably could have played last week at a pinch if it was really necessary. I think the Storm are probably going to play here, but yeah, nothing confident early in the week.
Okay, we'll wait till Thursday for that one. All right, now, Saturday night, Cronulla taking on North Queensland. That is 7:50 p.m. Saturday night. Cronulla $1.70, North Queensland $2.15, and the line's only 2.5 at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know that the Sharks are going as well as their kind of recent wins have suggested. They struggle to put the Bulldogs away, they struggle to put the Knights to the sword. Yeah, I think there might be a little value on the Cowboys.
Okay, value on the Cowboys there. We might thrash that out on Saturday, you and I. All right, Saturday night, 7:55 p.m. What an absolute showdown this is going to be. The Roosters take on the Rabbitohs. The Roosters are $1.60, the Rabbitohs $2.35, and the line 3.5 for a do-or-die game.
No one thrashes things out with you, Nikki. It's there's line up to get slaughtered, is how that one usually goes. Now, I'm with you, Chooks, on this one. I think early thoughts are the Chooks have been playing maybe not better football more suited to success in the finals is probably a better way of putting it. And they've got a way of getting under the skin of Cody Walker and Latrell Mitchell. And look, there is absolutely no doubt Latrell and Cody at their best can win you a game, can win you a finals game like that. But I think they might have the mental edge here, the Roosters. I think they're a better team on paper across the board. So leaning towards the Roosters on this one, particularly at Allianz.
Oh, God, I can't wait to watch that with you on Saturday night. Okay, now let's have a quick look at the Premiership market. Penrith, $2.20, Parramatta, $7, Cronulla, $7.50, the Roosters, $8.50, the Storm, $9.50, North Queensland, $10, Rabbitohs, $17, and Canberra, $51.
very, very difficult. So I think the Panthers are there to be beaten. Where I'll be looking at playing is about looking to find anywhere close to kind of $1.80 leave money any other team. I don't know who's going to roll the Panthers. I reckon the Panthers are there to be rolled. Parramatta gives us a great opportunity this week. Great opportunity. If they can get the win this week, Parramatta have a shocking finals record though, so I'm not certainly not jumping into them at the price. Yeah, I'm going to the Roosters finish outside the top four, but the Roosters for mine might be the play there.
Okay, the two Sydney teams for both of you. All right, punters, you need GGOA. He is having an insane season. You can get that in the Little Birdie TV shop. GGOA, $22 a week. The finals is about to start. Make sure you jump on that. Okay, MG, over to you, because it's that time you're the outright leader. You've thrashed us.
Outright leader. It's been a kick away at the top of the valley turn. Held up well. Yeah, no. We'll put up week 26 results. Unfortunately, for you two, I won't call you clowns, put in a good effort, but just shut the gate there. The total over, never in doubt, the Lions, Tigers game, good to see. On a Monday, I was able to get a total up for the year. The Broncos, unfortunately, missed there for Toprope, although he did change his opinion with that game, actually, from the Monday, so it shows with his tip outs, he actually tipped St George plus 4.5 as a strong bet. So all's not lost there. And unfortunately, your Tigers at the 3.5. You've given up on the AFL, gone back to the NRL, I believe, this week. So yeah, it's four shot lead. I'm 17-9, and you two are both on 13-13. So with the weeks have run out, we will get hopefully Lance Paccioni will come in on our grand final review show, and he will collect the check for his charity for Love Me, Love You. So it'll be good to hear from him. He'll just explain a bit about his charity on that Monday. And it's been a good competition. We've had a lot of followers and some good feedback on this one, because for a Monday we have tipped well overall, especially on the back end of the season. It's been worth following. So we'll play out the last 3 weeks and see if I can just put a few more dollars in for the charity. So Toprope, you lead us away for you were playing for Wayside Chapel this year. So what have you got for us this week for the punters?
The Eels at the plus, thanks, MJ.
The Parramatta Eels at plus 8.5 at Toprope. And Nikki, you were playing for Sits and Kids this year. What are you going? Are you switching back to the NRL?
Yeah, I'm going back to my code. Cronulla minus 2.5. So I know Toprope doesn't agree with me, but that'll be fun on Saturday night to play it out with you.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to bet a bottle of goose there, and I'll be involved with the winner, I think, there. So that'll be a good bet to have. There's a bit of side action. And then, so hopefully I can boost the balance for Love Me, Love You for the last 3 weeks, and I'm going to throw mine behind Collingwood minus 11.5 this week. I think they'll get the job done against Freo. So we'll try and finish out with 3 winners and get it up to 20 wins for the season. Put 2,000 in the kitty for the charity. Be a good target to get to. So yeah, thanks for following that this week. This year it's been good. So we'll do it again next year, whether it's for different charities or not. We'll sort that out for the show next year.
Yeah, thanks, MJ. It's been a lot of fun. Okay, that is a wrap for this week's edition of First Look. Follow us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, download our podcast everywhere you get your good podcasts from. Remember, the boys will be here on Thursday to cover the first week of the finals for the NRL and second week for the AFL. Don't miss that, because a lot will change over the week. Remember, Thursday with OB. Follow us on socials. We are Little Birdie TV, and we're on Twitter and Insta. Remember, all your footy betting action is at topsport.com.au. Also, check out the NFL and the tennis. We'll be here next Monday to recap our weekend. Have a great week. Bye.